Jolan Tru Centurions, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command. I'm Pirates Mod. I'm Captain Tarek of the heavy cruiser Antares as we continue our campaign against the Hydran Star Kingdom, and we had to turn back on our grand journey. The reason being, the ship got a little bit dented, and by a little, I mean a lot. We managed to survive after being just absolutely depth-charged almost to death by a pair of Federation heavy cruisers, but we were able to persevere, overcome, and made it back to friendly space. Now we just need to, once again, rearm, repair the ship, and we will set out once again upon the great journey to see if we can't make it to Hydran space. I would like to do that before we hit too far into the middle era, so fully kitted out and ready to rock and roll. So let us continue once again out into space to travel as fast as we can, as quickly as we can, which, you know, those are synonyms, but hey, to attempt to capture a planet nearby the Hydrans. That way we don't have to go all the way back. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but you're not allowed to resupply and rearm off of friendly star bases, so I can't go to the Klingons and say, hey buddies, would you let me repair off of here? So instead we had to go all the way back home. But it looks like this will be a fairly easy diplomatic delivery. We'll be able to just basically park on up into the planet and finish things off. We're asked today by the Goblin. The Goblin is an armored freighter with a pair of disruptors and a pair of phaser 3s, and this is probably not a whole heck of a lot different. Let's increase the speed to our grand nimble aggressiveness of like 15, as long as we're not in enveloping mode, where it only drops down to like 13. We'll reinforce the forward shield and get ready for actual full-on combat. We do, of course, need to prepare ourselves. Oh, I could try and capture him. We could use the money, and we have a lot. We literally have enough transporters to steal this ship without killing any of his marines. I think I want to do it. How many we got? We're up to 32? Yeah, we can do it. Maybe. Oh, the planet has Empire defense of 40 or 35 or something like that. It's going to be a little bit difficult. Just get up in there. Oh, we apparently did not prepare the tractor beam? I thought I had. I must have stopped because I was considering, you know, capturing the vessel, but it's a little tiny OPT. So let's just get in. If he survives an initial salvo, then we'll grab him. But if not, yeah, then we won't be broken up about it at all. Yellow alert. All power to engines. Let's zip on along and increase the speed time. Oh, we're already at maximum. Lovely. So prepare to deploy the diplomat so he can make various threats and or overtures to whichever people the Romulans feel like trying to force to be their friends today. Romulans not exactly known for being the most friendly of people, for obvious reasons. I mean, they were kicked out by the Vulcans, and then their first contact with things like, say, the Federation was, let's start a nuclear war. Don't ask who actually started that war, otherwise it may get a little bit uncomfortable when trying to use it as an excuse for why Romulans are totally justified in being jerks. Spoiler, they're actually not. But you know what? We're fighting as the Romulans this week, so we can make all those excuses we want. We're going to drift on in to make sure that we don't actually get too close, and beam over the ambassador before we turn away, using our aggressive Klingon-made maneuverability. The mission is officially complete. So on the speed of time very slightly, so we're back to normal, and drifting away from the planet, the mission is complete. So somebody is about to get yelled at, and it's not going to be us, because we managed to blast our way in and deliver the diplomat, and now he gets to yell at other people. 280 prestige, not terrible at all. That's not quite paying for, you know, the trip back home, but it's getting kind of close. Pop over on the planet. Empire defense of 35, so that means a whole bunch of missions need to be taken here. Luckily for us, so long as we don't run into too much actual threatening forces from the defenders of the planet, we can probably take on just about anything. We are being escorted by the D7K, the Deft Slayer. It is a Klingon D7 as opposed to our Romulan KRC. Same hull design, different weapons philosophy, and I think ours is better. Squaring off against the CVL, this is an improved version of the vessel we had fought the last time, and got our butts kicked, if we're completely honest with that. Set our plasma torpedoes to enveloping mode, and the reason for that is I want to take out his fighters, and I want to destroy his fighters without ever having to work for it. So we're gonna have to ignore the CVL. It's not the best solution. It's not a great solution, but it's the best solution, is the way I'm gonna have to put it. Because his fighters offer way too much damage, or I can be a little bit more clever, and I'm gonna try and see if I can't just drift behind this guy. We'll get behind the Depth Slayer, let him take most of the damage, we'll increase our speed and zip along over here, and hopefully we can avoid getting shot at too much, because if he shoots the Depth Slayer, that'll be great. The Depth Slayer has, I think, the exact same plan, but both of us are going to form up into formation, and he's launched his fighters, but they are way far away. I'd like to steal him. How many Marines you got on board? Once again, a circumstance where if I just get through, he's mine. Minimize speed time. Fire all phasers. Oh, it wasn't quite enough. Can I get anything else on time? Because if I can just cut through that, that'll be good. Tractor beam won't be charged in time. That's fine. High energy turn to go alongside it. Yes, we're traveling at absolute minimum speed for a reason. Because I have a plan, and it needs to come to fruition. He's doing a speed of 23. I actually can't catch that. So whip this sucker around, but he's coming back in towards me. So our defensive plasma torpedoes have engaged, attempting to knock down the incoming fighters. We're going to get ready for this. I am going to steal this ship. I'm going to grab it. You can't stop me. And tractor beam. Plasma torpedoes engaged. And turn. Plasma torpedoes to normal mode. Shields down. Send in the Marines. Let them go. And while we're at it, cloak. Just to avoid the inevitable shot to the back that we're about to take. Ooh, the missiles got to us, but luckily for us, our damage reduction protected us from most of that. So our Marines are going to take the ship so long as the Death Slayer doesn't kill it. I don't think the Death Slayer is actually capable of killing him that quickly, so now we're just going to sort of skulk our way over to the planet. Going to set back to enveloping plasma torpedo mode, because we're going to need it. 2 more Marines versus our 5, and he's still engaging quite well. Please don't damage my property. I only recently acquired it. I wouldn't like to get too much of a dent on it. 1 to 5. Come on, clear it up just to my 5 people so they can conquer everything as we start into the and decloak. We can use the power now. May as well. So as long as the phaser capacitor can now start charging, we have nothing but our Marines securing the deck. Once they work their way through the crew, which they're doing quite quickly, it's ours. Lovely. So we managed to capture the ship, which will be worth a fairly significant amount of prestige, which is always nice. We want to be fully ready when the next generation comes out. The next generation. When we start getting more of the Firehawk cruisers available, because we want to be able to basically just jump into one of those as soon as we've got sort of the territory over here covered. As much as this D7 is fairly nice, I mean, KRCs are pretty good as far as early combat ships go, we would like a more Romulan-inspired design. So we're just going to zip our way over to the planet, going about not nearly as fast as we can. Let's go as fast as we can. Why were we not doing this in the first place? Because we got distracted. So going as quickly as the ship will run, and then we'll park right outside and we'll bombard it to crap because it's just a standard PL, no PLPH. So that means no phasers, no photon. Well, it does have 8 phaser 3s, but the 8 phaser 3s aren't capable of hitting us as long as we stick just outside their range, which is 2.99. So as long as we're not inside 2.99, the planet literally can't fight us. So we're just going to drift on over here and beam over. I'm going to actually manually limit it just 3 Marines to make sure that we don't take any damage so that we don't need to. All weapons engaged. So plasma getting involved in this one, denting the planet quite severely. How many Marines? Down to 17. This could take us a little while. You'll notice that 4 of our phasers are not shooting. That is because they only shoot backwards, because some genius decided to design this vessel with phasers that can only fire backwards. I'm going to have to assume there was some genius, or maybe a political favor to somebody. In any event, the Romulans didn't fix it. Did my plasma torpedoes not fire, or are they just not charging? They should be charging. Oh, there they go. Okay. So, down to 8 Marines. Now, I'm not quite there where I could board them just yet, but we're very close to that point. But my plan is to wait until after I get them down to just 2 people left, and then I'm going to manually beam over 3 Marines, just to make sure that we maximize the number of Marines that we have. This could be quite a few planetary assaults, and I want to be able to kind of steal a couple of ships along the way. In order to do that, I'm going to have to be a little bit frugal with my Marines. I have, after all, already used, I'll be using 10 of them by the end of this mission. So going to have to be a little bit more careful. Plasma torpedoes, because as you can see, the hit and run, we have 24 Marines. So, okay, slow down the speed of time, just so I can do this properly. So, 1, 2, 3, that's 3, and increase the speed time. And we'll finish conquering the planet like so. That way the enemy cannot resist us. The Romulans will successfully grab everything here. Hey, it's the Davis! It finally came and showed up to support us. So we have captured their vessel, and we will use it to bombard their own planet. Wow, the Death Slayer is getting way closer to planets than I remember them ever trying to get to. So a good job there. Let's increase the speed and start to move away. Pop up. It's always an amusing little thing. So we'll move away from the planet just to make sure that nothing happens as they finish securing the most important locations on the planet, and we'll bring our brand new Federation CVL Plus back with us home. That should be worth hopefully a decent amount of prestige. I have my fingers crossed, I really do, because a ton of prestige would be really nice. So, come on, 495 is if we take a homeworld. So if it's near there, then that would definitely be awesome. How much prestige shall you reward me with? It is, wow, 615 plus 75 is not bad at all. Empire defense is down to 30. And we're going to bounce and bounce. I just want to grab this so I've got it, so I can use this as a way to cross the rest of the Klingon Empire. A convoy raid might be a safer option, but it would take forever. I mean, yeah, we're a fairly nimble heavy cruiser, but still. All hands to battle. It's a dreadnought. Oh boy. If it's just me and you and no other people, I can take you. How many Marines you got on board? 14. You don't say. It's quite a lot of Marines, actually. Do I? No. No, we're gonna put a hole through him. The thing I'm debating is whether or not I set my plasma torpedoes to enveloping mode, and the answer to that question will be no. No, sirree, we shall engage him with greatest of penetrating firepower, so that hopefully I can, you know, destroy him. Well, actually capture him is the preferred. Are you a DNL? No, you are a full-on DN. And by the way, what kind of planet am I also dealing with? A PLPH. So this planet is actually defended, so we're going to have to actually fight the planet after we capture the Dreadnought. So we'd prefer to keep the vessel more or less intact, if at all possible. Now, the thing about this Dreadnought is it's basically a Federation heavy cruiser with more firepower and protection and a lot more power. Not firepower, just power in general. So they're fast, they're long range, and well, they're just super heavy cruisers. As you can see here, he's got 8 phaser ones instead of the traditional 6 phaser ones, and 4 photon torpedoes. That's what he's got. That's what he brings to a battle. So we're going to kind of hopefully maybe draw out a poor response. We are going incredibly slow. That is by design, mainly so that I can abuse him a little bit. He fired 4 of his phasers, of his 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, he's got 10. So he's got 10 instead of 6, which is, you know, a decent number of phasers. You gotta give him that much. Okay, punch a hole. Okay, he's down to 12 phasers. Down to 11. And disappear. So by disappearing, my plan is to reduce the amount of damage that I have to take. Maybe this is not the greatest of plans, but I think I can get through. We've already knocked out 2 of his phasers, which is great. So we just need some time to sort of reestablish and reassess our full capabilities. And in order to do that, I'm just going to skulk away. And I'm going to kind of wait for him to fire photon torpedoes, and then I could probably pick up the pace and really run. Although committing to the skulk may have been a bit of a mistake. Although if I can keep the range open, I can be just fine. I believe I only need a speed of... Yes. I only need 4. A speed of 4 in order to keep my plasma torpedoes charging. In fact, I could maintain a speed of 6 under cloak. I'm currently, however, charging my defense shift a little bit, which is helping even more with him being inaccurate, which is wonderful. So we're just going to hang out down here. Photon torpedoes totally missing. He's got another photon torpedo launcher that is about to be ready, but he's angle... Oh, nope, there was the angle. This also gives us an excellent chance to sort of do a bit of a sightseeing tour. I mean, the Antares is absolutely lovely. I mean, it's a Federation class dreadnought. It's a beautiful model, and it really is a cool ship. And I grant you a gift from Romulus. Pick up the speed a little bit more because we gotta get out of the way of this. That is, of course, a nuclear space mine. If we touch it, we will explode. He will explode bigger. That's actually not true. It would really be kind of a terrifying thing to see who would explode larger. But there it is, and that's going to force him to the outside. And the reason why I wanted to do that is I'm going to decloak. And by decloaking, I free up a ton of power. So the cloaking device is now off, and we have speed and power and aggression. Because I'm not charging my phaser capacitor at the moment, I have a lot of energy. I just need to circle my way around this faster than he can to bring my forward shield back onto target, which I think will work. We're getting most of our plasma torpedoes back online. Lovely. Looks like he's managed to repair an important system, so he will be able to be somewhat aggressive. Prepare the tractor beam. Although we're going to have to be a little bit careful about this, because otherwise bad things could happen. He could push me into my own mine. Photon torpedoes missing once again. Lovely. Slow down. Put more defensive firepower. Plasma torpedo selected. Fire the plasma. Follow up with the phasers. He's down to 8. Oh, that's close. But it's not good enough. Half damage. We need to... Oh, he's lost his shuttle bay. How interesting. I need to get a little bit more damage on him. So slow down. Slow down. We're not going to cloak. We're going to go aggressive on this one. So we're going to stay out of cloak, and we're going to just start beating into him, because I only need a little bit more damage to steal the dreadnought. So just probably need 2 more phaser salvos or so. How much power do I currently have in the forward shield? That's important. Oh, enough. Okay. Because we've managed to deal a pretty decent amount of damage to all of his stuff. phasers, or his defenses are open. He's still at 8, but he's slowly becoming more and more vulnerable, and that's the key. I don't want to have to just start using a whole ton of Marine parties to get through. I only want to do this once. Oh, interesting. Okay, drag me along. That's fine. I'll sit here and wait. You can do that. We'll wait for our phaser 1s to recharge, because we only have 5 phaser 1s that shoot forward. And then we got 4 phaser 2s that only shoot backwards, so it kind of works out. But yeah, I want to capture this vessel, if at all possible, which it is definitely possible. Especially if he's going to hold on to me like this. I mean, that works out great. He's getting accurate fire, but what do I care when I can cut through his forward shields? He's not yet there. Oh, wow. That was a lucky shot on his part. Managed to get some really good hits on that. So we're going to pass on by, but more importantly, what I'm going to do is... And Marines. And cloak. We got him. So at this point, we have actually managed to defeat him. And also, I want to check to see where my nuclear space mine is. That's what I figured. I figured it was right in front of me. But yeah, we are going to stay in cloak. We're going to skulk away. We're going to let my Marines capture the Antares, because that's what we've accomplished here today. By this point, also, our plasma torpedoes will be fully charged. It'll be great. Now, the PLPH is going to be a little bit of a difficult thing to actually take on fully. After all, PLPH is not exactly pushovers when it comes to firepower, especially if I don't have a forward shield, which at the moment I don't. So I'm a little concerned. Oh, God. Nope. Nope. No. Don't want to touch that. That would be bad. That would be bad on many, many levels. It's a nuclear space mine. It'll explode in my face. It's terrible. Oh, please tell me you're going to ram it. Please tell me you're going to touch it. Touch it, touch it. No, you won't. He's not that dumb. I mean, he's kind of dumb, but he's not that dumb. He's got 1 Marine boarding party left. I've got 3, so we should be able to nab this without too much trouble. Then we'll beam over 3 more Marines. It'll be great. We'll capture this planet. It'll be wonderful. There'll be parties, although this is probably the last time I get to capture a dreadnought unless I deliberately avoid missions. I'm going to have to start deliberately not taking planetary assaults at this point, because unfortunately we got to start saving our Marines. Got him! Lovely. I'm going to order you to not be part of my formation, because I don't want you to die while I'm bombarding the PLPH. I would very much like you to survive, and in order for that to happen, you're going to have to not, be stupid. Which, unfortunately, the AI is incredibly stupid. So there's only so much I get to do with that. Oh, am I not charging my plasma torpedoes? There we go. Charge them well. Oh, I do apparently have like 6 points of power on the ECM. So, oh, because we're cloaked. Duh! Decloak! We don't need it. And then we're going to rush on into the planet. We're going to wait for him to start shooting us too, because he is going to start shooting us, and that is going to be somewhat painful. After all, nobody wants to take too much damage. Although, are you coming with me? No, good. You're just doing donuts out there, which is great. I don't actually want him to fight with me. I mean, he could. He kind of can't. He doesn't have the firepower to do it. You are a PLPH, yeah? You are. You're just not shooting. I suppose I should be happy, because if he's not shooting, he's not doing anything to me. But it just leaves me very confused and concerned, because, dude, why aren't you shooting me? Hey, there he goes. Now he's shooting. Start to slow down. Let's make sure that we have enough defense in order to handle this. We're going to have to get relatively close to use our plasma torpedoes. And to do that, we must cloak and shut off the electronic countermeasure. I need power. So we're going to skulk on in, nice and stealthily, utilizing our superior defensive capabilities. Although he's not actually shooting other weapons at me, which really is concerning me at this point. It's like, seriously, dude, why are you not shooting the big guns my way? I have a concern. No, seriously, he has enough phaser firepower to utterly obliterate me at this range. Why is he not using it? Well, I suppose we're going to have to just risk it and decloak. I mean, we don't have an option. Plasma torpedo select, decloak! Fire the plasma! Oh, wow, we would have been so dead if the planet was actually defending itself. Alright, starting to deal some damage. It's going to take a couple of volleys to actually cut our way through, but it looks like he's not actually defending himself with any real weapons. It's just 2 photon torpedoes that he appears to be firing on occasion. Maybe he's waiting and saving them to shoot at the dreadnought that we captured? Because if he's waiting to shoot the Antares, well, I've told the Antares not to get too close. And that should be nice and safe. He did manage to hit us with a photon torpedo, which is very unpleasant. Fire plasma and decloak. And haven't yet cut through, but we're almost through. Shortly, we shall have our way through the enemy defenses, and then we'll really start to work on them. Now, technically, I probably shouldn't be bothering firing my plasma F torpedoes. They are not causing enough damage. but I'd like to anyway, because maybe we'll get lucky with something. We need to turn the ship just a little bit to try and reduce the amount of hits that we're taking onto this shield, because it's dealing quite a bit of damage, which is not sustainable for us in the long run. Okay, and fire, and poke. Pop, and pop, and pop, and pop. Hey, I think we're through? I mean, it kind of looks like we're through. Are we through? No, he still barely has shields. One more volley will do it. It takes quite a while. But the thing is that we can do it. There are so many other vessels that just cannot be able to siege a planet like this. Like the Antares would probably not be able to take on this planet because it wouldn't be able to do enough damage to that reinforced shield, because it's only got 4 photon torpedoes. But us, we get to get right on top of the target and then fire plasma torpedoes and they disappear. Yes, now we're causing damage here. Now we're starting to make it hurt. And we'll just continue on this little adventure of ours while we sit here. And it doesn't matter that he's got some attack shift going on to us. It's not a sufficient amount of power for us to worry or care about. We'll just sit back, relax, and continue to bombard. And the enemy will be completely helpless before us. Now that our G-type plasma torpedoes have actually managed to cut through his shield defense entirely, that's the best position for us to be in. And plasma. Ooh, we fired his photon torpedoes right as we decloaked. 73 more damage, starting to make him hurt, starting to cause some damage. Mostly right now what we're doing is we're burning down armor. We are probably being incredibly efficient for him in terms of armor protection, because we're damaging all of his armor instead of just trying to penetrate one location of it. But I feel that's a reasonable thing to do, considering we do have to basically wipe out everything on the planet, which includes the Marines. And in order to get at those, we need to be just damaging as many ship systems as we possibly can. Another 58, so a little bit lower than before, although not terrible. I'm not sure why we're doing less damage instead of more. Well, I suppose the attack shift must have something to do with it. He has lost his shuttle bay. Unfortunately for both us and him, shuttles can't be launched from planets, so he really hasn't lost anything. If we're completely honest about this, yeah, there's nothing broken here. So we will prepare to decloak once again and just continue just popping up like U-boats and then disappearing back under the water. He is starting to time his defenses, but it's already too late. He hasn't realized it yet. I could probably call in my vessel at this point, but I would worry about accidentally tripping the planet and making it think that it needed to defend itself. Gotta say, the Romulans have probably one of the most powerful early games, just because of the cloaking device. Because most factions can't deal with it. Not effectively. Ironically enough, one of the races that I believe is the worst in the game, Delirians, are best positioned to fight the Romulans because they don't have to worry about actually hitting. There we go. Oh, that was a nice big hit. How many Marines has he got? He's got 16. We got some time. I would love to send a probe, but I'm not going to risk it. Well, actually, we may as well. Next time we decloak, it does cost us a point of power to do, but it's not the biggest worry, although I do notice his attack shift is gone. So because of that, he is really suffering in terms of power. So we just need a couple of good more hits, and we should be able to break him. And another 97 points of damage. His transporter's offline at this moment. Oh, I forgot to fire the probe. Ah, screw it. Decloak. He still has a Phaser 4, which he's not using. He's got 2 Phaser 4s. He's actually repairing them. We're going to stay out of cloak, just sort of see what we can get done out here. No point really in firing the phasers. I'll keep the forward shield defense. If he opens fire on me, I should be able to hold the line for at least a little bit. At least long enough to drop back into cloak. Okay, knocked out that phaser 4 once again. Knocked out all his phaser 4s. Okay, turn in. He still has a photon torpedo launcher, but we can start getting all of our weapons on target now, because we can join the phasers into the battle as well. We'll knock him down to the minimum number of Marines. We'll send over our 3 Marines. We've used another 10 on this mission, which is not obviously ideal. And stop. We're within effective range of all of our weapons. All weapons flicked and bombard. Okay, he's down to 2. We're going to slow down the speed time, and we're going to go to 1, 2, 3. Oh, sent too many. So we sent 1 more than we intended, but that's okay. So that'll be a planet successfully captured, and a dreadnought successfully captured. You can't see it. Now you can. Because it's just donuts way out there. Way out there in space. We'll pick up the pace and we'll go head over and say hi. We may as well. Because we have successfully conquered a planet.
Amber alert.
amber alert, because the Romulans have a fantastic sense of color grading. So another successful planetary assault, along with the Antares taken for us, with minimal damage, I might add. We managed to take that thing almost completely intact, so a beautiful job done by everybody. 615 plus that 75 once again is amazing, puts us up to 3483. Empire Defense is 25, so 5 more missions here, and we should have it. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I've been Tarek. If you like what you've seen, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see the notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.